And speaking of which, as we come to a close here too, I want to remind you that a lot of the animators would go in and they said we were always very fearful going into Walt's office because we were hoping to see Mickey Mouse, but often there was Donald Duck sitting behind there. Now, one of the things that I brought today, when Adria told me it's Donald's birthday, I went looking through my archives, which are not as extensive as Luke's. Luke's goes back to when dinosaurs worked the earth. Mine is when the dinosaurs collapsed, and that was it. In 1997, for the Disneyana convention, remember the Disneyana conventions out here? Remember how cool they were and all that? Well, in 1997, for the Disneyana convention, you know, there were classes that you could take if you wanted. There were tours, things like that. One of the classes that I created was called the Donald Duck Underground. Mice never, ducks forever. All right? And yeah, we even had the mice never, ducks forever. Okay? And so the Donald Duck Underground class was to get people all excited about Donald Duck's going to handle a revolution. Well, as I was going through my stuff, I ran across a couple copies left of the Donald Duck Underground Handbook, which has the reproduction of the Donald Duck coat of arms, official from the Disney archives. I bet you've never seen that. There's an article by me. There's the expressions that are approved for Donald Duck to use because people were constantly misunderstanding what Donald was saying. There's even a sketch that Walt did in 1946 of Donald Duck when he was on the set of Song of the South. Donald's draft notice. That, and I wouldn't tempt you about that. I brought a couple of these, actually I brought all of them that I have today, so if you want to purchase those, we'll have that. And I also happened to find 3 of the Donald Duck pins with the long neck and the beak. These were given for the doctorate. You remember that? You could earn your Mousters, or you could earn your doctorate, but you had to take like what? 8 classes, 12 classes, a lot. And again, this pin has not been issued since 2000. It's got the copyright on the back and all that. Tomart says it's worth some money. Pinpix only has 1 and has 20 people looking for it. So I figured I'd give you guys first shot if any of you were interested in that. And look at that, we've got 10 seconds. Thank you so much that we spent this time together. And yes, you can choose between my mics. There we go.
My question is, you wrote a new book.
Yes.
And sounds like there's some stuff in there that, I don't know how to say, portray with Donald and Walt or something.
There's no Donald in the new book, but there is Sully Sullivan in the new book.
Okay.
And quotes about Sully and from Sully and Bob Matheson about working with Walt as a leader.
It sounds like a leadership book.
It is. It's leadership and business for you know how if you're a leader at Disney, you should be using common sense. You should be using courtesy. If they tell you to get the fire truck, get the fire truck.
But did Disney executives squawk at the book or anything? Or?
No. Because as far as they're concerned, this is a piece of fantasy land. It just doesn't exist.
Okay.
You know, and this is history, and who's interested in history? So this again, this is the only book. In fact, at the back of the book, there are 14 teeny type pages just with the quotation sources that I've used within the book. And so I went back to people who work, and Van France, there's a lot of Van France in there. I interviewed Van France, so from Disney University and all of that, and what Walt considered a good leader, and he didn't want leaders to be snoopervisors, snooping around, you know. He wanted leaders to go out and do their job, you know. If the people fouled up, it was the leader's fault because he hadn't trained them or worked with them. Who's the leader of the club?
Exactly. That's great. I like that.
Thank you very much.